Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are using the Johnson edition. We turned out a poem 628, They Called Me to the Window for. Now, F-O-R. Now, this is in many ways back to 228. Also the sunset poems of 265 and 266. You'll remember their ships of cloud metaphor. We're going to be playing the same game here. Our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net down that left-hand side, chats with Emily. Hopefully you worked through our set of introductory comments. We called Emily, of course, a nature poet. Here, we'll come back to it. And as well, I'm hopeful that you've already worked through our preceding 627 poems. We just finished with 627, the 10 I cannot take as best. Now, this is another kind of riddle poem, another kind of nature riddle poem. We're talking about the sunset and we're talking about clouds. But I want you to pay attention to the very subtle way that she plays around with the Odyssey, and more particularly with Odyssey Book 12. We've given full lectures of the Odyssey at learnstrong.net. You'll remember when Odysseus' crew will eat the cows of, some will call it Apollo, although technically it's the son of God Helios, but they eat the cows they're not supposed to. We're gonna maybe see some of that standing behind this as well. We are back to Emily and the whole notion of perspective, or the attempted perspective, and we don't know who the they of the poem is. Let's enjoy. They called me to the window, for 'twas sunset, someone said. I only saw a sapphire farm and just a single herd of opal cattle feeding far upon so vain a hill, as even while I looked, dissolved, nor cattle were, nor soil, but in their stead a sea displayed in ships of such a size as crew of mountains could afford, and decks to seat the skies. This too the showman rubbed away, and when I looked again, nor farm, nor opal herd was there, nor Mediterranean. Now, I think that it's a simple poem on one count. Hey, come over to the sunset. I mean, we were just talking in our last conversation about the majestic sunset recently. Hey, come over and look at the sunset. And she said, okay, they called me to the window. I looked out. She said, I couldn't see the clouds. Instead, I saw the configurations of the clouds, right? That is to say, as children, we all played this game. And of course, if you're like Wordsworth, my heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. You remain a child, so was it when my life began, so is it now I am a man, so be it when I shall grow old to let me die. If you're of that ilk, and you can still look at clouds and see formations, right? But if you're around children, they always do this. Have you noticed this? The moment you point out clouds to them, they want to talk about whether it's a whale, or it's some kind of camel, or an elephant, or something like that. So you guys all did that when you were kids. We kind of grew up. Isn't that tragic? We kind of grew up, and we learned how to just see it as what? Clouds. And yet here, notice, they call me to the window. I can't help but think of that, come to the window, sweet as the night air line from Dover Beach, Matthew Arnold's Dover Beach. For 'twas sunset, someone said, right? Notice we go from they, we don't know who, to someone. I only saw, and that's the key word. And I think you want to square that word, because that word is going to suggest the whole notion of sight, seeing. Can we say hermeneutics or interpretation? In other words, look at the clouds, and she goes, that's not what I saw. What did you see? A sapphire farm. We'll remember sapphire from 228, 265, and 266 as we're thinking about the sunset. I only saw a sapphire farm, sapphire from 191, and just a single herd. Now the fact that she pictures the clouds as cattle, but she ends with the last word Mediterranean, will associate the two together. Remember, in room 303, what's our goal? Learning. What is learning? To connect or relate new information to old information in meaningful ways. So in her mind, she could obviously be thinking about the Odyssey and the way in which that story of how those men eating those cows, what? That's the opening lines of the Odyssey. That's why none of them ever get home. In other words, Odysseus is the only one that ever comes home. He leaves with all those young men's daddies, the ones that are going to try to kill him later, and his son, and take his wife and his stuff. All those young men have daddies who left with Odysseus and never came back from Troy. Well, why not? Well, the poem, of course, as we say in our lecture for the Odyssey, the poem opens with Zeus saying, it ain't my fault. And Odysseus saying, it ain't my fault. I told him not to eat the cows. So there's a game that's possibly being played here. In other words, the way you see a situation has a lot to do from your perspective, the foundational perspective from which you look at it. She says, all I saw was a single herd of opal cattle. You'll remember opal from poem 15, 266. We'll see it again in 1397. Feeding far upon so vain a hill. I think vain is the key word. In other words, it's not really there. As even while I looked, again, we're looking out the window, right? Dissolved, and you'll remember dissolved in 370, 444, 548. We'll see dissolved again in 749. Nor cattle, by the way, notice the 5 nors? Nor cattle were, nor soil. In other words, things aren't always what they appear. But in their stead, all of a sudden it was replaced, right? Because obviously the clouds reformulate. A sea displayed, and ships of such a size as crew of mountains. It's just use the word crew, because that's the word that Odysseus keeps using, or Homer keeps using in the Odyssey. The crew, the men of mountains, could afford, and decks to see the skies. Decks of ships, in other words, the things we row, and we're back to the Odyssey. This dash, to dash, the showman rubbed away. I think showman is important, because some will read it as God. I read it as Homer, the poet, right? The poet. In other words, what is it that great poets do? Well, they draw pictures in your mind. Just like when you look at a cloud. Technically, you know it's nothing but clouds. It's just like watching a movie. Technically, you know it's nothing more than one screen after another. It's not, can we say, real. It's R-E-E-L when we watch the movie, right? But somehow, we can kind of take it as R-E-A-L. And what is she saying? No, it isn't R-E-A-L. Even though it looks so real. And obviously, the power of the imagination. And when I looked again, right back to the nor. Nor farm, nor Orpa herd was there, nor Mediterranean. Again, I'm suggesting you could make that connection to the Odyssey if you're so inclined. At 2a, I think her argument is simple. Things are not always what they appear to be. Her key word of nor at 2b is interesting. At 3a, we mentioned Wordsworth's "My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky." How does he finish that? The child is father of the man. And I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety. The child is father of the man. In other words, children see, not clouds, they see formulation. That's what you saw when you were a child, when you were still alive. And then you got all educated. And now you know what clouds are, so you don't have to enjoy them anymore. Just like sunsets, just like rainbows. Kind of sad. Finally, 3b, what was a time when you saw something that wasn't there? And what was a time when you saw something that absolutely was there? It just wasn't there. Thank you.